Hello everyone, I am Anastasia Haritou and I will present to you some tools provided by the new technologies that support data collection as well as the awareness raising of the public. As we all know, in order to implement the ecosystem-based management approach, we need a lot of different data in order to have in mind all the possible components of an ecosystem. So, first of all, we need continuous and high quality data of the component of the ecosystem, as well as of the aspects that interact with the social community and all the economic considerations. New technologies provide us with some tools that, in combination with traditional methodologies, can provide key data in order to support EBM. Such tools could be the crowdsourcing applications, citizen science platform, the use of social media, as well as remote sensing. Biodiversity is one of the key aspects that has to be monitored in the context of an EBM approach. So, iNaturalist is a global platform of citizen science who gives to millions of users the opportunity to report what they see regarding the flora and fauna of an area. So the way it works is just like the platforms and the social media accounts. What the users have to do is just to create their account and then report what they see in combination with some other information regarding the area where they have evidenced an organism, the time, and some more information about every organism. So, working based on artificial intelligence, the application of iNaturalist also gives the users the opportunity to have a feedback regarding the possible organisms that they evidence, or even more information like the expansion of each observation. In addition, users have the opportunity to interact with each other exactly like in all other social media platforms, and then all the observations are validated by experts, and in the end they are all registered in the database of the application. MyNatura is another crowdsourcing application which is designed in order to improve the knowledge about the biodiversity in the Natura 2000 sites. It works more or less like the citizen science platforms, and all the visitors of Natura 2000 sites can download and use the application. And in this case, not only do they provide with data regarding the particular areas that they visit, but they also have an experience of exploring the area and getting more information about a Natura 2000 site that they have visited. There is also the need of monitoring biodiversity in particular contexts. So, since there was a lack of data regarding the wildlife in the cities, the project City Nature Challenge is an annual 4-day event that calls the people to participate in a crowdsourcing event. And what the participants actually do is that they monitor the wildlife they encounter during these days that the event takes place. How important and how massive the data collected could be can be indicated by the numbers provided to you, which can show the total number of observations during this event. And this year the observations were more than 1 million, and as you see, more than 55,000 of different species were observed and reported. New technologies also provide us the opportunity to collect data through remote sensing. So, AMIBio is a project which aims to collect data in a Natura 2000 area and a national park in a Greek mountain called Imitos. And what the project's goal is to create an autonomous multi-sensor monitoring stations which will transmit every audio and other data regarding environmental variables in a central station where all the measurements will be automatically analyzed. New technology also provides us with tools in order to collect data and further research on particular topics. For example, a very important topic are the alien species. Alien species are a threat to the biodiversity. Alien species are live specimens that enter in areas where they natively do not belong. So, apart from being a threat to the biodiversity, alien species also influence local economies since they lead to financial loss. The expansion and the density of alien species in the Mediterranean is investigated through different projects based on new technology, in particular through social media and crowdsourcing applications. In this map you can see some of the projects that aim to monitor alien species in the Mediterranean and that they are implemented in different Mediterranean countries. All the projects follow some particular steps that aim to collect valuable data as well as to raise awareness among the public that participates in these projects. Based on the steps that IC follows in the context of Is It Alien to You CERID, our citizen science project which investigates the expansion of alien species in the Greek seas. During this project, what we first do is that we need the reports of the observations of the public. So, people are providing us with proofs, which are mainly photographs, of alien species that they have encountered in the Greek seas. Apart from the identification of these species that has been observed, we train the people that participate in the project to also report further data like the location where they have encountered the particular specimen, the depth where they have encountered an organism, and then there are different experts that work on this data collected. Different experts are validating particular data on particular species according to their expertise, of course. And after the final identification of the specimens reported and the validation of the data, the project manager updates the database where we keep all this data. So this leads us to real scientific research based on observation coming from the public, and some of the general results that we examine are the expansion and the density of alien species in the Greek seas. Of course, scientific research should also support the policy making, and this is the reason why our project and projects working on alien species also share their data with their national contact point. Here in Greece, our national contact point is the Hellenic Center of Marine Research. So the department working on aquatic invasive species gets also our data, and afterwards, after gathering the data collected from also other sources, it updates the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. And based on all the data collected, these data are used in order to assess the descriptor regarding alien species in the context of the Marine Strategic Framework Directive, but also in order to implement the regulations regarding the prevention and the management of the introduction of invasive alien species. Of course, citizen science is not only for gathering data from the public, but also for informing the public about the topic they are interested in. So, in the context of our project, lots of informative materials were created in order to be distributed to particular stakeholder groups that are interested in the topic of alien species. For example, fishers use our informative material in order to be aware of the new species that they may encounter, as well as divers that want to provide information to their visitors every time they go diving with tourists and visitors. In addition, the collected information as well as the experience gained through the interaction with the public leads to particular actions. For example, there was an incident of people dying due to the consumption of Lagocephalus scleratus at a particular period of time when if Lagocephalus scleratus is eatable was a topic of discussion among the scientific community and the mass media. So after this incident, there was a press release distributed providing particular information on why Lagocephalus scleratus is not an edible species, as well as on why it belongs to wild animals, based on another incident that took place in the Greek islands, during which visitors, tourists, were petting Lagocephalus scleratus that were looking for food, and as a result, the fish attacked the tourists. All the data collected and the material created for the public, there is also the aim to change the behavior of people that are involved in the particular project. For example, promoting the consumption of alien species is a way to reduce their expansion and their density. So, people involved in the particular project that are already interested in the topic of alien species have the opportunity to have access to an interactive map that has been created, which depicts all the fishers associations that target alien species. In addition, there people can find restaurants where edible alien species are sold as a dish to the visitors. Also, this interaction with the public through the Citizen Science Project provides us with further information for these possible behavioral changes. So a good example is that we created a recipes book from recipes that we collected both from chefs and from the public that was involved in the project. And of course it is open access to people that want to also contribute to this battle, let's say, against alien species through their consumption. So apart from being involved and getting informed from the participation of such a project, people that are further interested to it can also get trained on particular practices of how to provide further data, more valuable data, as well as further information. For example, there are people that are not only interested in getting informed about the topic of alien species, but that are further interested in collecting more information on the particular topic. So what we do through the project is also providing them with information on how they can collect data. And data can be from the photographs, the proofs of their observations, in order for all the photos to be accurate for us and to be valuable data, but also for collecting other data of specimens of alien species that they have, for example, caught in a case of a fisher, and provide this data to us for further research. Social media also provides us with tools not only to monitor alien species, but any other possible species, like the elasmobranchs in the Mediterranean Sea. There is an important data deficiency regarding elasmobranchs in the Mediterranean Sea, but elasmobranchs are top predators and they are very important specimens that contribute to the sustainability of the Mediterranean ecosystem. In order to fill in the gap of this data deficiency and to acquire more information and knowledge on the elasmobranchs of the Mediterranean Sea, the MECO project is now a network of 19 different countries using mainly the Facebook groups of the project that leads to the collection of important data regarding the elasmobranchs of the area. The project collects a serious number of data. It works and the steps it follows are the same as the previously presented project, and all the data collected and the experts that participate in the project take their experience, the knowledge and the data collected through this project into consideration in order to participate in action plans for the protection of particular species of elasmobranchs, as well as to provide the data during the assessment of particular species status in the Mediterranean. So, as you can see, the steps that are followed are the same as any other citizen science project based on observations that are acquired through social media. We ask from the users and the people that are involved in the project to provide us with proofs of their observation and further information about every observation. There is a team of experts that identifies all the species and validates all the information collected, and then in case that more information are needed, for example for threatened species, these experts interact with the people that report their observation in order to gain all the information needed, and then all the information, of course, are transferred in the database of the project. This leads to scientific publication, as well as this is the baseline for designing and creating and implementing scientific awareness project regarding the topic of elasmobranchs in the Mediterranean. Apart from social media platforms, there are also the crowdsourcing applications that are also a really valuable tool in order to acquire data regarding the elasmobranchs. As you can see, CLI application is a crowdsourcing application which collects data for elasmobranchs and for turtles that are found in the Greek seas. And as in any other case, people who use the application have to identify their observation, the specimen they have seen, provide us with pictures in order to validate their observation and their identification, as well as with further information regarding the location, the time, and possibly the behavior they have seen if we are talking about a live specimen. But also, dead specimens are reported in order to collect data on their expansion and the distribution of species, and also in order to have information and clues of possible reasons for that. Of course, taking into consideration that people who use the application will probably belong to stakeholder groups that interact with the particular species, like fishers or divers. There are information available that must be useful for such stakeholder groups, like information about the species, their legal status and their conservation status, but also more particular material like releasing guidelines which of course are useful for fishers that may have bycatch products coming from these species, and they are interested in the method of releasing them. Remote sensing is a very useful and important tool in order to monitor the elasmobranchs. For example, researchers of the Maurice Kahn-Maris Research Station in the Mediterranean working on the elasmobranchs, once they caught species of interest, they take measurements and other samples needed for further research, but also they tag particular species in the context of the research. There are lots of different tags that can be used based on the available cost, equipment and human resources, and of course based on the aim of our research and the information that are more important to us. So by tagging these animals, we can gain information regarding the depth they are found, the distance they can travel, the time and the periods of a year that they travel and the places that are found, as well as some of information on their behavioral patterns. Tagging provides us with information on the particular species throughout the Mediterranean, but also another remote sensing tool for the areas that are considered as hotspots where these species are found. It is also drone surveys. So observing the species through drones, in particular areas of course where they are gathered, we can have information on the species, the particular species, on their size, on the number of individuals that can be found in an area, as well as for their behavior and the interaction that they have among different individuals.